So my name is Eduardo Santander. I'm the CEO of the European Travel Commission, which is the umbrella organization of all national tourism organizations of Europe.
Thank you very much for your time today speaking to Breaking Travel News. Perhaps you can tell our viewers a bit more about your role here at PATA at this summit.
Well, long-haul markets are the most important markets for Europe. As an association, this is what we have been focusing on for the last 70 plus years. We started obviously like a long time ago with the United States and those markets that back in the days were so important for the recovery of destroyed Europe after the Second World War. And now we live in a festival of crisis, so there's now non-stop. And what we see is, of course, like everybody else, we see that the world is shifting east, and the Pacific Asian area region is going to be key, for the recovery of the economies also in Western Europe. When we talk about recovery, we're talking about a different recovery. We're not talking about, recovering the tourism that we had maybe back in 2019. We're talking about the new forms of regenerative, transformative tourism, which has to go beyond, the numeric KPIs and numbers of arrivals and expenditures. We're talking about, exchanging of best practices, finding common solutions in both parts of the world, in the European region, but also in the Pacific Asian. And this is very important because it's not about bringing flows of people, it's bringing flows of knowledge, and knowledge, to tackle issues that we know are very important for both sides of the world, like shortage in the workforce. Climate change, obviously, is a global problem. But moreover, how are we going to create something valuable for people when we want to create that kind of new tourism, and that it's not only a remedy for something that we want to fix now, but it's something that we want to leave as a thriving industry, as something that will remain for future generations to enjoy, enjoy places, but enjoy equally so places that are lived by real people without destroying natural heritage or cultural heritage and so on. So this is very important to be here because the exchange that we traditionally have had with PATA was heavily interrupted by the pandemic, and now we want to reconnect.
Of course, this is a mega region, the Pacific Asian, a mega sector, and it's also so exciting. 3 years in the making, this summit, and it's the first time here in Ras Al Khaimah. How does it feel to be here, and are you excited about what this summit will entail?
It feels very good, and we were commenting this morning that the Middle East is a place to meet now. It's in the middle between Europe and Asia, so it helps us to build the mass needed bridges to communicate. Of course, we live we know that the Pacific Asian region is the most populated one, with increasing or growing middle classes, with a lot of potential in the future. But the potential will have to be defined by a new education of both supply and demand. We see that we cannot maintain or sustain. We talk about sustainability, but what do we really want to sustain? An old model, which we know it's probably going to be obsolete in the next 10 to 15 years, or do we want to create something new? And this is where we see that with the rise of the middle class, with the rise of a new knowledge about also to fill in the incentive gap that we have. Why should people travel in a sustainable way? Why should people travel different or less, if you want? This has to do with explaining people why this is going to be a key issue for the future generations, and this is why we are here, to exchange that with authorities and also with any other tourism partners from the media side, as you are here to mediate between the public opinion and also the official opinion, if you want. This is very important because it's an exercise of communication. I think the whole buzzword of sustainability has to do to explain and educate people that a change is not only needed, it's necessary.
Thank you very much for your time today, Eduardo. It was a privilege to talk to you, and we wish you all the best for the rest of the summit.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.